When you get a college basketball slate like this one, packed with weird lines, strange travel spots, misleading box scores, and teams that can go from unstoppable to unwatchable in the span of one half, you know exactly what time it is. It's another day of breaking down the board with precision, searching for the sharpest angles, and squeezing value out of the matchups that most casual bettors don't even realize are lurking out there. And as always, welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, where we break down every matchup with purpose, context, and a full understanding of what truly moves numbers in college hoops. Today we're diving into the picks and predictions for Sunday, November 30th, 2025, and trust me, this slate has plenty to talk about. Before we get into tomorrow's matchups, we've got business to take care of, and that's the recap of today. Now, as always, before the recap, it's worth reminding everyone that supporting the channel keeps these daily breakdowns coming. Less than 25% of you watching are actually subscribed. If you find value in the analysis, if you enjoy the picks, and if you want to help the channel grow toward that 2,000 goal, right now sitting at 1133, hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second and helps in a huge way. The first winner of the day comes from High Point, and it looked rough early. The line opened at -8.5 and dropped to -6.5 by tip. Against Western Carolina, High Point came out slow, barely executing anything, and went into halftime only up by 2. It looked like one of those games where a heavy favorite might get stuck in neutral. But in the second half, they turned it on, scoring, pushing pace, and controlling the game. They finished strong, winning 93-73 and covering comfortably. Late backers barely had to sweat, and everyone cashed. Next up was IU Indy, also known as IUPUI, a team that's always unpredictable. Some nights they look like a solid Division I squad, other nights, not so much. Today, Morehead State didn't help, shooting just 26% and turning the ball over 22 times. IU Indy won 85-80, barely avoiding a backdoor shot at the buzzer that could have ruined the cover. IU Indy's own stats weren't impressive: 46% shooting, 33% from 3, 13 turnovers, but they still got the job done thanks to their opponent's struggles. Buffalo -6.5 at Canisius was never in doubt. The crowd had no energy, and the home court advantage didn't exist. Buffalo dominated 71-53, as Canisius couldn't shoot, 37% FG, 15% 3PT. They won the board slightly but gave up too many turnovers. Buffalo improves to 8-0, and with upcoming games against St. Bonaventure, UMBC, and AQ, they're in position to start 11-0. Now to the misses. Longwood -5.5 at Maine fell short, winning 65-61 but failing to cover. They shot 33% from 3 and turned the ball over 19 times at home against a weak Maine team. They hovered around the number all game but couldn't extend late. 2 totals also missed. IU Indy vs. Morehead State over 181.5 didn't hit because the first half was cold at 63 points. Even a second half surge to 102 points wasn't enough. And the heartbreaker, LaSalle vs. Penn over 150.5. The first half looked perfect for the over, 44-38, 82 total, but LaSalle collapsed in the second, scoring just 27 points. The final was 73-71, total 144. The last minute was pure chaos with turnovers, missed free throws, and blown inbound plays. LaSalle had a chance to tie, got an offensive rebound, and couldn't convert again. Let's dive straight into what's shaping up to be an intriguing lineup of games, starting with App State on the road at UNC Asheville. Now, it's worth noting that this isn't a typical home game for Asheville. They're playing downtown rather than at their campus arena. Technically, that neutralizes some of the home court advantage, but in practical terms, it still plays as a home contest. Fans from Boone aren't going to make the 2-hour drive on a Sunday while football is in full swing, so expect a mostly local crowd giving Asheville the boost. UNC Asheville comes in at 2-4 on the season. Their victories are modest but telling. A 5-point home win against Lipcomb and a dominant 40-point rout over a Division II opponent. Their losses have mostly been competitive: 3 points to Georgia Southern, 2 to West Carolina, and 2 to Tennessee State, until a more decisive loss to Yale. Offensively, they shoot 50% from the field, which is respectable, but their main issue is turnovers, giving the ball away roughly 15 times per game. Fortunately, App State isn't known for defensive dominance, so those miscues are less of a concern here. Speaking of App State, they've been downright awful this season. Sitting at 4-4 overall, they're coming off 2 consecutive losses and have failed to cover in 3 straight outings. This is only their second road game of the year, though, as mentioned, the location adds a twist. Offensively, they struggle mightily. 60% from the free throw line, a meager 29% from deep, and their shooting woes compound in back-to-back road spots, which is a first for them this year. Considering all of these factors, the smart play here is UNC Asheville at -3.5. Everything points to Asheville not just covering but winning convincingly, potentially by double digits. Moving on to what I'm calling the favorite bet of the day, we turn to Quinnipiac hosting Stonehill. This is the rare scenario where I feel comfortable laying points with Quinnipiac. Stonehill has been extremely underwhelming this year, sitting at 2-6 overall and 0-4 on the road. Their wins are minimal: a 52-point blowout against a Division II school and a narrow 4-point win over Lafayette. Offensively, they're among the worst in Division I, ranked 339th in efficiency, and they turn the ball over about 14 times per game. Quinnipiac's defense is opportunistic, excels at jumping passing lanes, and generating steals, making this a mismatch waiting to happen. Quinnipiac themselves are 4-3, with losses coming to St. John's, UCF, and a significant defeat against Yale by 45 points. Their wins include a 22-point victory over Central Connecticut State, a 6-point edge against Maine, and an 8-point road win at Pitt. Their lineup is composed of seasoned upperclassmen who play with discipline, size, and consistency. They shoot 38% from deep and have the experience to handle a weak opponent like Stonehill efficiently. All signs point to Quinnipiac covering -14-12 comfortably, and the odds heavily favor them asserting their dominance at home. Next, we have Mercyhurst hitting the road against West Virginia. WVU is coming off a rough stretch at the Charleston Classic, losing both contests, and they now need a decisive win to maintain their at-large bid prospects. Mercyhurst, meanwhile, is on their 3rd consecutive road game and lost a close contest at Marshall, so fatigue and morale are factors. Mercyhurst is 3-4 on the season, with wins over Loyola Chicago, a Division II opponent, and Morgan State, but their overall pace is slow and scoring ability is limited. They make roughly 6 threes per game, which is bottom 15 nationally, and their rebounding is weak. WVU, with a week to recover, should dominate in this bounce-back opportunity. The smart play is WVU at -22.5. Expect a decisive win, potentially by 40 points, as they take full advantage of home court and superior talent. Surprisingly, I'm also looking at an Ivy League team, Yale on the road at Vermont. Yale is 6-1 on the year, coming off a championship in the Virgin Islands tournament, where they defeated Akron decisively. Their only blemish was a loss to Rhode Island, an off night where nothing went right. Normally, this team is highly efficient, shooting 53% from the field and 46% from 3. They return much of their core production and are well coached by James Jones, who has been at the helm for 27 years. Vermont is 5-3, losing 3 of their last 4 games, and while they've had success against other Ivy teams, they're smaller, younger, and don't match up physically with Yale. This matchup offers a revenge element for Yale as well, and the bets here are Yale -6.5 along with the over at 149.5. Given Yale's efficiency and Vermont's vulnerabilities, the score should run higher than the number suggests. The final primary game on the slate features Fresno at home against Cal State Bakersfield. Normally, I avoid West Coast games due to timing and scheduling conflicts, but this Sunday game tips off at 4 o'clock local time, making it feasible. Fresno has made internal changes after a troubling incident last season where players were involved in point shaving. Now, with a motivated roster and strong fundamentals, they appear ready to dominate. Cal State Bakersfield is struggling at 3-4, with wins only against Division II teams and a few low-level opponents, and they shoot just 26% from deep. Fresno shoots 50% from the field, has significant size inside, and should control the boards. Laying 10.5 points at home is a confident call, expecting Fresno to win comfortably, likely by close to 20 points. There were a few, almost bets, that caught my attention as well. Street. Bonaventure is facing foul on the road and looks intriguing with a +4.5 line, though I'm opting to watch this one rather than commit. Belmont at Charleston also presents an interesting angle with Charleston at +3.5. Finally, ODU at William and Mary provides value at -6.5, with the game likely swinging decisively in one direction or another given the pace and defensive tendencies. That wraps up the full breakdown for tomorrow's slate. These bets combine trend analysis, matchup nuances, and pure statistical insight. Remember, when you follow the data closely and combine it with context and game flow understanding, you can consistently make smarter wagers. Make sure to subscribe to Beyond the Box Score for daily expert breakdowns, deep dives into every slate, and all the insights you need to stay ahead of the betting curve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay sharp, stay informed, and let's keep turning knowledge into results.